Disclaimer. I messed up this chapter at the very end and didn't realize until I started the next one. Because of this, I had to go back and redo it off camera. So all the level ups you see here will not be canon to the playthrough. I decided not to redo this video because I was still happy with the run besides that one mistake. So, enjoy. Welcome back to Fire Emblem Thracia 776. Last time, we stormed the impenetrable Fort Dum Dum and did not lose anybody in the process whatsoever. This time, well, this chapter's title alone is... It speaks for itself. I'll get right into it. Chapter 11X. So this is a Fog of War map, and it's called Desperate Ground in Little Manster, but its original title, okay, I'll go into that when the dialogue starts. Sorry to be false advertising here, but yeah, it'll be the title of this video as well. So, if we look at the map though, oh, we can't even look at the map, but you can see there is part of the map that is displayed here, because there are some NPCs that are on our side. So in terms of deployments, I would want to bring Safi here, mostly to repair the Vouge, but also because of Torch Staff. Only 5 uses though, and it is extremely valuable in the next 3 chapters. But I may want to use it, like, once. I think I want both my thieves, even though there is a Siege Tome user in play, so things will be a bit scary for Lara. Definitely want Asbel. I think I want Ossian back, even though his fatigue is getting a little high. We can only bring 8 people, though. You don't really need a lot of really strong combat units for this map, so maybe now might be a good time to let Fergus rest his fatigue. Do have plenty of stamina drinks, though, and we will be getting more later, so maybe I will take him. Dagdar's getting up there. I think I'll actually bring Nana too, so... yeah, her charm is probably going to be more effective than Finn's 3% to everybody, because there are a lot of narrow corridors we'll be moving through here. Also, having really good 1 to 2 range is nice here as well for the start of the map. Safi, take that back. Okay, let's deploy, and it's time for meme talk. Because it's kind of fitting that they're both in a row. This is another one of those chapters where... yeah, there are 2 chapters in a row where there's meme dialogue. So this is a boss here, Bishop Oltolf. He's interesting. He actually has no ability to counterattack at close range, he just has Siege Tomes, which means he's an auto-capture if you get to him. It's just kind of tough to get to him. He actually automatically tries to leave the map on turn 30 as well, but, I mean, getting to turn 30 takes quite a long time as well. So, your platoon is to barricade itself inside the wing of the fortress and stall the rebels for as long as possible. Still have one final means of defense in the southern corridor. So, yes, huddle behind the walls and take potshots at the invaders through something called murder holes. These are slits in a castle wall that archers fire through. Kind of justifies the enemies being able to shoot through this wall. Now, in the Japanese version, Kempf names this strategy Murder Holes, the name of this feature of the castle. And that is what it was intended to be. However, it's written a little weirdly in Japanese, Mada Horesu. So, when the first person who translated this game, and I can't really blame them for doing this, saw this line, they saw Kempf say, you are to use plan, murder Hollace. And so, this person came up with, like, this kind of convoluted justification, also this line's hilarious, that, like, murder Hollace is a real medieval tactic where people barricade themselves and the enemy in the same room and fight to the death. This is, by all rights, not true at all. And then people came to the conclusion that it was a typo, that it was supposed to be like Mada Horusu, and that someone put a re instead of a ru. But here is an unlikely source that's going to settle the debate once and for all. Fire Emblem Engage. I only know this thanks to the Fire Emblem wiki, but this chapter is referenced in Leaf's A-Bond conversation with Kagetsu.
Tell me more stories of your world, Leaf. I am very curious.
I have already told you almost all there is to tell. I will run out of material very soon at this rate.
My curiosity is not even close to running out. Tell me more. I demand satisfaction.
Very well. Let me tell you of a battle which hinged on the efficacy of murder holes.
So yeah, he definitely says murder holes in English, but Engage lets you switch to the Japanese voice acting. How does it sound in Japanese?
そうだな。だったら次はマーダーホレス作戦の話でもしようか。
Yeah, Japanese Leaf pronounces that term Mada Horesu. So this means one of two things. Either it was not a typo, and that is actually how you write murder holes in Japanese. Or, and this is the even funnier option, it was a typo, but it's just as much of a meme in Japan as it is in the West, and Engage kept the typo to preserve the meme. But, yeah, that is the story of Murder Hollace. I can't believe that Fire Emblem Engage settled the debate, but it did. This is one thing that I do, like, kind of appreciate about the Fire Emblem games that let you switch the voice acting to Japanese, because you can actually look at, like, what the Japanese script says for certain things and how they pronounce certain words. It's kind of, I remember doing that for a couple of the supports in Three Houses, and finding out that the majority of them were pretty much the same, except for, weirdly, Dorothea and Edelgard, which, Dorothea doesn't sing in that one in Japanese. The English one, I think, is superior in that regard. So, yeah, this is a boss I just feel really bad for, I kind of want to capture. Now, there's a sprite on the map there, but it's in a bit of a weird spot, and I'm hoping that I did not screw this up somehow and the game is, like, bugged. But yeah, the main premise of this map is that Olwen and a couple of civilians are captured in these cells. I feel like they might have given some of these civilians the unused villager portraits, because I don't really remember seeing this portrait in when I first played this a long time ago. Well, I guess that's like Dimitri in his youth, maybe. Still, I do think this is a genuinely good scene, because this is the point where Olwen finally realizes just the extent of what she's been enabling by siding with these people. The fact that most of the regular officers of the army don't know this is going on means that the Loptrians are probably doing a good job of hiding it, because, like, people like Raedric make no, you know, attempt to hide that he's rounding up children. And even Ishtar knows. Granted, she's dating the guy who's the leader of the Loptus cult right now, but still. So yeah, Olwen's a great character. It's like Thracia has this weird paradox where its characters are either the Scrub Brigade and have basically no dialogue at all, or they get an oddly large amount of dialogue in the main story for characters who, are technically optional recruits. So we have three... Rosa. I cannot think of that without thinking of Xenoblade 2 now. We have 3 children, and we'll get items as a reward in the next chapter for saving them. We also have Olwen. She has no weapons here, so we'll need to rely on something else to save her. However, what's this? What's Brighton doing here? I don't think he should actually be here. I may need to restart this map and give Safi the, rescue staff. Oh, wait, no, she already has it, huh? Alright, I'll just see what happens. But, so... this could be a bug, he's supposed to be in one of these 3 cells. Because a weird thing about this chapter that I didn't know until recently, any characters who get captured specifically in Chapter 11 will return in Chapter 11X. There's also a very weird bug that occurs here that I'm not surprised that the developers of the Japanese version didn't notice. If you get, like, a really large number of people captured, like over 10 people, then some of their positions overlap with Olwen and the children. In which case, these characters will still be here, they just won't be able to move until the NPC moves off their spot. It's really weird. But the other funny thing is that if you get 13 or more people captured, the 13th person doesn't even spawn on the map because there's no room for them. But you still get them back when the chapter is over. It's just such a weird, obscure thing that, again, I am not surprised that the Japanese developers didn't test, because, like, who gets 13 people captured in chapter 11? Okay, so Brighton is just gonna get captured again, but yeah, at least the mages won't be able to attack him, and at least he'll get captured before the boss starts using siege tomes. Okay, so, right, how many people can, like, actually get in there? I sort of want as many people in this corridor using 1 to 2 ranged weapons as possible. And having Nana go in here first might be good, just so I get the charm range going. Especially since you can end up in range of the boss's siege tomes this way. If I sound a little dejected right now, it's because I was on a really good run of this chapter, and then, did she just gain con? She did, okay, that's pretty cool. And which I lost due to, what?! What?! I did not know he did that! Oh right, I need to hammer the Vouge right now. I could have rescued Brighton, but the Armonite that grabbed him is going to be encumbered, so it's going to take forever to actually escape the map. I don't really care too much about Brighton right now. Okay, good. Getting a crit off the bat saves the use of the Vouge, so that guy's down, and now I can get Asbel in there to use fire, I think, on this guy. Now, if I move Leaf in, I do want Leaf to get pretty far forward, because beating this map quickly is going to be really, really helpful for certain reasons, actually. Okay, still 2 more ranks until you get access to Meteor. But yeah, I do kind of like trying to send Leaf as far in as possible. I can also go for Fergus Flam Sword combo here, just to try and get rid of another one. I mean, it's not really necessary. These guys are going to die anyway to either Ossian or Leaf, but I don't know, I just like giving Fergus some action. That came out wrong, but you get the idea. Right, I do like to put Leaf in support range of Asbel, so Leaf's going to go as far forward as he can while still being in Asbel support range. Yep, that is a lot of enemies in there. Yeah, now Lithus and Lara will get in close, and, yeah, let's see how many of the enemies in the Murder Hollace die against our blades. Also, yep, there go the lights. I like to think that, Brighton in this map is doing that tactic of, deliberately getting yourself captured so that we have a man on the inside. Because, like, being part of, like, a rebel group, he probably is used to doing that kind of thing. I'd imagine the Magi have pulled that in the past. And, there we go. I mean, Avel tried to do it earlier in this game, and it backfired horribly, but she had no way of knowing that the enemy would have someone who can turn people to stone. Now, sometimes these archers roll high on their magic stat, and, therefore don't get one-rounded by Fergus and the Braves and the Flame Sword, unless he crits. But speaking of rolling high on stats, though, so the boss of this map has some absolutely crazy stat variants. His stats can vary really wildly. It's funny that, like, I'm not actually sure, like, what the coding is for the boss in this game, but some of them have totally fixed stats, and others have, like, really wild variants, and sometimes if they get a lot of random con or speed, it can really affect how hard or easy it is to capture them, or even steal from them in some cases. But, yeah, Ocean's guaranteed to crit everybody with the Vouge on the enemy phase. But yeah, they can even gain random points of movement sometimes. Which, like, I've heard that in chapter, like, 4, if too many enemies inside the, the final room where Dalsin is randomly gain movement, the chapter can be nearly unwinnable. Like, I think the odds of enemies gaining random move are kind of low, but it is a thing that can happen, which is kind of hilarious. But yeah, I don't really know how the calculations work on boss randomized stat gains, because, like, I normally think that it works in terms of, like, growth rates, and, like, the generic class growths, but, like, Oltoff's stat variance is much, like, in terms of the amount of stat points he can gain in each stat, it's more than he has levels. So, it must not be based on that. However, we've got help in the north. Also, these walls must be really thin, the fact that Olwen and Fred can have a conversation through them like this and this far away. Yes, don't get careless. But Fred can handle it. Here he is. Fred's finally on our side. Fred is the archetypal boring yet practical unit. He's a pre-promoted paladin with solid all-round stats, an A rank in swords, which is very significant, and a C rank in lances, and though he has no other notable traits like skills, a personal weapon, or any follow critical modifier, vigor, or authority, his stats and sword rank are enough to make him a good fighter with no investments. If you do invest in him, he has an oddly high strength growth though. And getting a support from Olwen can be decent, though she doesn't want to be too close to the front lines. If you ever have a deployment slot to spare, Fred's a good choice to fill it. And he has Dire Thunder and a door key, so that Olwen's all set once he gets to her. The problem is, if we open Olwen's cell door, the kids are going to start making a move for it, and doing that while the boss is still active is going to end very badly. And yeah, Fred's gonna get accosted by quite a lot of soldiers on the way to Olwen, but it's fine, he can handle them. Generally speaking, he can handle them. You're on low health, you are, okay. I want to try and, like, maximize my movement here, because I do want to kind of hurry it up, not so much to rescue Brighton, because Brighton's not really in any real danger. I don't even know where the point the enemies are trying to escape from in this map is, but it's more because of the boss. Like, that guy's siege tomes are just a massive annoyance, and I'd like to have him gone from the map as fast as possible. So, Asbel is going to go ahead and... I'm just going to attack you in melee with... No, that's barely going to lower your hit rate, so I'm going to do this. Basically, this is going to be Asbel and Leaf run towards the boss room. There are a couple of mages in the boss room who have wind tomes, which are very nice if you can capture them, but don't count on being able to capture them. It doesn't always work out that well in your favor, because often they throw themselves against you and die. Okay, that's you gone. There's another archer up there. Oh, I can no longer see one of those mages. That's unfortunate. However, right, if I don't... Unfortunately, Fergus has to just stall his advance here, but I need you gone if I want to get my thieves in there. Because if I move one of the thieves out of the way, I'll be able to use my torch staff. But yeah, gotta be careful because... Oh, I actually can't really put Lithus in there yet. So instead I'll do this. I don't know if I should be using a torch use here, but I want to set this up because eventually torch will let me see where the boss is, and that will let me track his range. Because yeah, now Nana can head up here and snipe you away. I I think the throne is, like, up here-ish. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think it's like that. Yeah, if Lifus goes just above Fergus, I highly doubt the boss will be able to hit him from there. And that is everyone. So now it's time for Fred to fight a whole bunch of soldiers, in the hope of rescuing Olwen. See, I like when maps have, like, little stories told through the gameplay like this. Like, you need to get Fred over to Olwen's cell so that she can get her weapon back from him and exact vengeance on her captors. It's a pretty cool thing. And having Fred need to fight his way through these guys, who are pretty weak. Also, Fred's dismounted sprite looks really cool. I don't believe paladins even have those capes when they're mounted. But yeah, like the reddish-orange armor of Fred, it just, I don't know, I really like that on these sprites. Now, Olwen getting hit is a bit annoying because, as we established in the previous chapter, you can't heal green units. So, I need to recruit her, which you do by talking to her with Fred, in order to actually physic her. The problem with that is that once I recruit her, in order to recruit her, I need to open the door. And if I open the door, the kids are going to start making a run for it. And if the kids make a run for it, well, you'll see on the fail channel. It was something that I did not think could even happen in this map. But it's intensely frustrating when it does happen. Because I thought the AI was designed to not do that, but it actually does. I love how you just sidestep the middle of that ring of flames and you're totally okay. This is running down the flame sword a little bit, but, yeah, it's taking out some of these enemies. Are you gonna... Okay, yeah, you have no resistance, so you just barely survive because you have 1 more HP than necessary to 1 round. Sometimes they end up attacking Fred in melee, which is good because he does a lot more damage in melee. Oh, that's the boss going. Is that Nana? No, it's Ossian, okay. Now, you want to be careful if you don't have scrolls, because he also has bolting and that can crit you. But okay, he missed there. And yeah, it's like 10 turns before he breaks both his siege tomes, which, granted, is not a lot of time to wait, but I still would rather, you know... Okay, here we go. Let's, Is anybody in need of physic right now? I mean... If I do this to Fred, Fred won't need to waste his turn vulnerating himself. Plus, it's more staff experience for Safi. It's also more fatigue for Safi, but still. And, okay, I just barely can't see the boss, but here's one of those wind mages. Oh, she's definitely hitting A before Chapter 12X, I'm fine. Yeah, she can just barely get to Leaf. And yeah, look, there's the guy with, Brighton. He's only made it that far. I'm just gonna go here just in case there's another enemy ready to block Leaf. There is not, that's good. Yeah, how much? Yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead and snipe you and save Brighton. Brighton doesn't have any scrolls, so... Also, wow, your HP is pathetic. Yeah, speaking of random stat variants on enemies, I feel like that was probably a case of, like, rolling low on stats. Oh, wait, no, he's gonna get captured again. That's fine. I was worried about the boss, like, hitting him, but, the Armor Knight's probably gonna move and capture Brighton before anything else. Like, this is why capture bait is just such a good thing to have. Lifus, though. Lifus has 1 luck. So, yeah, the boss is, like, there. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I want to say that if Lifus goes there, I don't think the boss can get him, but we'll see. I think she should be fine to start. I mean, I don't think I'm actually going to really get anywhere meaningful with Lara. There are no chests on this map, by the way, so that's something to know. In fact, I'm going to just focus on going forward, because these guys are going to just die to him on the enemy phase regardless. Oh, okay, hi there. Oh, that's totally fine. And okay, well that guy's gonna die to Brighton to Fred on the enemy phase. Yeah, people in the comments mentioned it's funny that the thunder sound effect comes before the lightning, because it should be the other way around. Okay, that's not terrible. mean, Iron Blade is not really what I want to be getting hit by right now. Also, Leaf's attack speed is approaching the point where he has fairly reliable adept, so like his offense is really not that bad by my unit standards. Wait, huh? Oh, why didn't you... Enemies boggle my mind sometimes. I don't know why that guy didn't go for a capture. I really don't know why, like, the Wyvern boss in Chapter 9 decided to try and kill Safi rather than capture her in one of my attempts. Like, I really don't know what controls the AI to do that. Also, this guy has 3 magic. It's just interesting how random enemy stat variants can do. Although, you know, it's nowhere near as bad as, like, I believe that was actually the boss doing that. But, like, yeah, Hector Hard Mode's first chapter is generally one of the most annoying cases of, like, random stat variants like, heavily impacting things in the series. But okay, yeah. If Fred can melee something, he probably should. I mean, he can capture these guys, but, you know, no mercy to Olwen's captors. And yes! Love that animation. Yeah, he has a kind of a weirdly high... Oh, wait, that's why he has a high crit rate. He has a support with Olwen, which I believe is actually one-sided. Oh, I forgot that NPCs get fatigue, so she gets fatigue for being attacked by the javelins. That's interesting to know. But, okay then. So if I send Safi a little further in... Again, does anybody need physicking right now? Probably not. Okay, we can see him now. So yeah, here we go. Here's Boss Man. And yeah, he has that door key because on turn 30, he'll actually try and open the door in front of him and make a run for it. I've never actually seen that happen, though. Because, like, the odds of you getting, like, that far into the map and not, like, actually, you know, capturing him by then are pretty low. Okay, I would like Asbel to be getting pretty far in, but also, I don't want to go there because then the mages will attack Leaf and die. How's 41 HP is fine. This is why this isn't literally why, but this is like a I'm glad that I gave him the life ring earlier in the game. So also regarding the boss's range, now that we can see him. So look at this right here. Yeah. If I unlock this door, the children are going to start moving, and normally enemies just attempt to capture them, but if the boss is still active, he's going to actually just go for them with his siege stones, which is kind of out of character, but but it's a thing that, you know, will happen, so... Okay, if I do this, one way or another, I think one of the soldiers are going to go for Brighton, so yeah. So let's see how far your range is. Yeah, Ossian gets attacked if he goes there, but he has a scroll, so he should be okay. I think I might be able to do this with just the regular Iron Axe, I think. Let's see. Yeah, I can definitely do this. That was more damage than I was expecting, though. I mean, yeah, 10 defense is good in some cases, but not in all cases. And, yeah, also, he has a door key. Leaf also has a door key. I only need one of those. But I could actually try and open that door. Getting more people up here to start rescuing the NPCs is not a bad option. Especially if those people are Fergus. Fergus could do really well in the north. You generally need to send people with an escort because, to send an escort up there because, yeah, there are going to be soldier reinforcements that try to capture the kids. Yeah, that was inevitable. So, you live to fight another day, I guess. I mean, I could just have Brighton sit here all day and tank javelins. Okay, yeah, one way or another, that guy was going to die. He was going to attack either Fred or Nana. Although, is this... Oh, this is probably going to kill. I'm not really too concerned of breaking the lightning sword because it's not, like, the best weapon out there. I guess its skill boost might actually help with, like, Astra and things like that. Huh, maybe you should actually leave some enemies injured. Okay. Huh. I wonder if he prioritizes... I don't want to take that risk, though. Like, prioritizes, healing injured allies over exploding children with meteors and lightning bolts. I really want Ossian down there, but also... Well, I mean, I suppose you can actually go over here and take the door key. The joys of the trading system, and now you can maybe not do that, because then the mages will attack me. You could actually try and kill the boss from, like, over the wall, but I'd probably rather not do that, just because I'd like to capture him. Now, there are more... Are there more things down here? I'm not actually sure. No, there aren't. Okay. Huh. I'd really like to be able to just run in and capture the boss, because, like, he's just such a problem for these children. And I also really want to, like... I mean, I suppose it doesn't really matter when you recruit Olwen, because she's, like, gonna be... Because, like, she's not going to be heavily contributing to this map besides escorting the children to safety. And okay, Nana is just getting really overkill skill, but she already has more than she'll ever really need. Only one more level and then she can promote as well. What's her fatigue looking like, though? It's not the worst. Or I could just get Lif. I mean, the guy's going to try and throw a javelin at Lifus if I do... Or that could happen. Yeah, there are these archers as well. Okay, you are barely at the end of my torch staff range, so I'm going to lose range to the boss with the torch staff soonish. I kind of like moving my torch range up here so I can actually see the escape point for the civilians. So yeah, right now I am going to wait on opening that door. I learned my lesson. Yeah, I had a feeling that would happen. Dodge, please. Yep, okay. This looks pretty funny without a weapon as well. Yeah, so as long as there's, like, an injured ally, the boss seems to like... Wow, you're not having a good day. I'll certainly take that. It's funny, like, I almost never see enemies miss with staves outside of a very specific utility staff they have in a later chapter. I am going to put you here with the Paragon Sword and open the door. Because with the Paragon Sword, I guarantee those two mages are not going to be able to destroy themselves by against Leaf. I may, though, need to Physic Ossian, though, because I don't like him having that much HP missing when there's Bolt. Although, the boss is going to go for the heal again, I'm pretty sure. So let's go ahead and unlock that. Yeah, there's 3 archers in here. It's funny how that guy has an anti... They all have antitoxins, but, like, I don't think it's possible to actually... I guess if you use a warp staff, you can capture them, but I really don't want to use up a use of the warp staff to do that. I guess having more capture bait in the north couldn't hurt, though, you know, Lifus could also get hit by bolting over there, which is also not what I really want to happen, so I think I'm going to stay where I am. However, I guess Nana could just get some experience fighting these guys. Probably will have to hammer the Earth Sword eventually. And yeah, for those awaiting the Olwen bio, it will come, but I'm just holding off because I don't want any more, children getting murdered. Yeah. And I said this guy was like one of the more sympathetic bosses, but he apparently condones child murder. I mean, he basically does just by siding with the Empire, but still, no skill. Okay, one good use of a good staff will put her up to, well, she'll be fatigued, but also she'll, get an A rank in staves. So, okay, now Leaf has a scroll, so I'm not too worried about the battle axes that those armor knights have and their crit rate, but what I don't want him to get hit too much, but he does have the Paragon, so I hope the enemies will actually attack him. Yes, they will, okay, good. So, yeah. My hope is that these armors just all die. Like that. And then I should be able to break through to the mages. I wonder if even Leaf can capture those mages. He probably can. Okay, speed means more chance of adepts. Okay. That was not what I wanted. That was very much not what I wanted, okay. And this isn't a 1 round, unless I crit, which I probably will. Yep, because 5 pursuit critical coefficients. Could you gain strength this time, please? I mean, granted, it's not nearly as, I mean, okay, he's maxed out on skill, at least. And his HP is really good, too. But yeah, it's not as bad as Callian not getting strength so far. Yeah, when trained, Callian is kind of like a second Fergus, at least. Just takes him a while to get there, and Fergus is around for a lot longer, but I still used Callian in my first playthrough. Yeah, that was what I was a little afraid of. Having you guys up there without Leaf being... Yep, you're going for it again. Are you going to miss again? No, finally he actually hit, which means I need to be a little concerned about Thunder and Fire now. Okay, so... What's your con? 5. Yeah, Leaf can capture them. And so can Ossian. So... although Leaf is not looking... Although I can physic him. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get rid of this guy. If I can get at least one of these Wind Mages cap... Well, that's actually not bad, huh? Let's see, though. I don't double. Oh, wait, no, I do double with some of the weapons. Yeah, I very much double with that, and they have 0 defense as well. I'm going to be taking a pretty big hit in return, though, but this should be good. Or I could just immediately critical, nice. So, you're out of there. And there is another Battle Axe dude. You have 9 con. Oh. Oh. Aha. I mean... This is probably fine. Because, yeah, the moment you reach this guy, there we go, yoink, you just get him. So, now, with Asbel, 7 speed, and wind, should be good here, I think. Leaf, and again, I can physic Leaf. So, I'm probably fine. And I believe that's a one-shot, too. Okay, so now the boss is gone, I can go ahead and rescue Olwen. Not literally rescue, as in the rescue command, but I can save Olwen, and then... Oh, his flame sword broke. I might want to actually keep that in my inventory. Random guy, you have served your purpose very well in distracting the boss, but I do believe it's time for you to go. Or not, okay. But hey, she still doubles. There we go. Yeah, Fergus can get ready to start escorting these guys. Fergus has been escorting civilians in a lot of maps, and yeah, we did establish earlier that we were indeed physicking Leaf, just in case. Like, that Wind Mage is probably not going to kill, but just in case. Yeah, he only has 5 attack speed, and also, yeah, they should be fine. And yes, he did go for Leaf, but again, I should be fine. The main problem here is that, like, everybody who can capture that mage is, Huh. Oh yeah, Olwen moves next to Fred if she can. That's her AI for this map. I could just steal win with Lithus, because it only has 1 weight. But by the time that I actually get there, I probably will have, Oh right, you got the really good stuff, okay. Leaf? I guess Leaf can go on the throne. Just gotta make sure I don't accidentally press C's. Take your wind. Release you. Perfect! Perfect! Okay, yep, I'll just be able to grab the second one now. Oh, except I can't actually, one around you with that. Huh, interesting. And that is a, 6 con... 6 con. Ah, if only I'd gained con with Asbel and level up. I suppose I can try for a crit here. I got it! Nice! Okay, I got both of them. And can Asbel... Yeah, he has enough space to take that. And, yeah, just heal Leaf, why not? Now I need to have... Oh, actually, I have the perfect person to take the boss's items. I have... Everyone's just getting these movement stars. I have Brighton, who has literally nothing right now. And now the map is essentially already over. Now I can properly recruit Olwen. Without even the recruitment theme too. And now Olwen has turned into Zero. This is a really good moment, though. I like the dialogue and development that a lot of characters in Thracia get. The funny thing about Thracia is that, it's like a duality of their characters. After Echoes, their characters would, Gaiden. Gaiden before Echoes. When Gaiden was remade as Echoes, the Gaiden cast stopped being, the lowest voted in Choose Your Legends, and then the Thracia cast replaced them. And for most of that, I kind of get it, because Thracia, its characters are either the Scrub Brigade, who get no dialogue unless they escape or die, or they're like Olwen, and they get a massive amount of character development and dialogue, despite the fact they're just full-on optional recruits. It's really cool. You have people like Olwen, you have, even Karen and Fergus get some good dialogue. This is even the last of the dialogue that Olwen has in the main story. Oh, actually, speaking of which, I need to talk about something in a moment. Yeah, so this is interesting because, while Fred has directly met Leaf, Olwen hasn't yet. This is kind of a cool recruitment because, you're recruiting somebody by someone else telling them about the main lord rather than actually having them meet the main lord. And, we didn't actually, recruit Fred in the last chapter. He sort of recruited himself. He's just okay, let's re-recruit truce while I escape. And now he's come back for Olwen, but he's yeah, let's both join up with Leaf. And yep, speaking of joining up with Leaf, here is Olwen, finally on our side.
I would like to fight on the side of good, for as long as goodness will have me.
In contrast to Fred, Olwen is an extremely unique unit. She's a pre-promoted Mage Knight, the only horseback tome-using class in this game, which can also use swords. Olwen is one of only 2 playable Mage Knights that matter, and you can only have one or the other in your army, so the class alone is one of her main assets, and having mounted capturing ability combined with hitting on resistance is really, really nice. Especially when combined with Olwen's signature weapon, Dire Thunder. This is a brave Thunder Tome, and there aren't a lot of enemies that won't be one-rounded by this if it hits twice. If it hits twice. Here's where one of Olwen's weaknesses comes into play. Her base skill is not super high, and being a Thunder Tome, Dire Thunder's hit rate is not perfect. And with Olwen's low HP and defense, and Dire Thunder's massive weight guaranteeing she'll be at 0 attack speed with it until she gains a lot of speed, mean that if she misses one of her Dire Thunder shots and the enemy can counterattack, she is likely to get doubled and killed. If she can level up and raise her skill and bulk, this becomes less of an issue, and that's where big weakness number 2 comes into play. Olwen is effectively both a growth unit and a pre-promote, which is a paradoxical combo because she won't be getting much experience from the unpromoted enemies at this point. All that being said, Dire Thunder is completely insane when it does hit both times, and her starting Thunder rank means it's not too hard to get her to A for bolting, which is great for sniping troublesome ballistas, and we'll be seeing a lot of those coming up. Those of you who played Thracia might notice that I'm leaving something out of this bio. Olwen does have a second personal weapon, but it doesn't come until very, very late in the game, chapter 22 to be specific, and so I don't think it's relevant to overall discussions of her as a unit. Olwen has some significant strengths, you'll just have to keep her significant weaknesses in mind. But there's one other thing I should mention about Olwen right now. If you take the A route split in chapter 15, there is a character exclusive to that route who only joins if Olwen is not recruited or dead. Weirdly, there is no in-story reason for this, and recruiting Olwen but letting her get captured won't work. This character is debatably a better unit than Olwen for a number of reasons that I'll get to once he joins. But I just wanted to raise the issue now, because it's a choice you'll need to make if you plan on taking that path. Though myself and many others don't like going with this other character because Olwen has far more significance to the story. Which means I can finally physic her. Oh, also, I think she needs the Vulnerary more than Fred does right now. So, yeah, now it's just about making sure these three escape before... I don't know if the reinforcements are even going to spawn now the boss is not dead. The boss is secured. Yeah, let's just say secure. But generally speaking, reinforcements stop appearing when the boss of a map is gone. Now, Leaf can talk to Olwen, and part of me wants to facilitate that via a rescue staff, because it's going to take... I mean, it's going to take a while for the kids to escape the map, though, so maybe I will be able to get Olwen there in time. Just going to block you guys off in case reinforcements come. Going to have you go over there, and then it's just time for... Okay, yep. So take, and now, Meteor, Bolting, Physic, and Door Key. And I can release him now, I think. Well, yeah, that guy feels nice to capture and release, unlike the, Largo. And then, okay, right, you need to take the Mage. Yeah, I got... oh, wait, his tome's already gone, okay. But yeah, so Asbel is one of the wind tomes, and Leaf is one of the wind tomes. It's kind of funny how wind is just such a weirdly rare tome in this game. Even weirder, it's the lowest ranked wind spell, and it's D rank. Anyone with an E rank in wind can't actually use wind at all. And they have no way of raising their wind rank, so they're actually stuck that way. It's kind of silly. But speaking of silly, so, okay, here's something I want to talk about. So, Kempf. You might be wondering about Kempf, because we basically just kind of saw him earlier in this chapter. So, you're probably thinking, they put so much effort into giving Kempf a personality and, like, making him such a love-to-hate character. Surely he's gonna be a recurring villain from now on, right? Well, actually... If you don't take the A route at a route split that occurs later on in this game, this is the last time you ever see Kempf. You won't even get to properly fight him. That's just the end. It's so weird, but yeah, like, it's weird, and that's gonna be the case for me in the main playthrough, because I plan on doing the B route rather than the A route, because I like the B route better, which shocks so many people, like so many Thracia fans, because it's like, I tell people that, and they're like, that is the hottest take ever for this game. But yeah, I like the B route better. Totally has nothing to do with the fact that you get a second Vouge on the B route. It actually mostly has to do with that. I'll talk more about the pros and cons of the A route and B route later, but that's not until chapter 15. But in another case of Thracia did it first, this was the first Fire Emblem game to have route splits. Yeah, it being pronounced Frigga makes sense. It does sound fairly Norse. But yeah, I like getting this conversation with Leaf, even though it doesn't really do much besides give you more flavor. We've been given the choice of allegiance of a lot of people so far. You're fine. What's one more? Oh boy. August, I know what August is going to say. Dorius is probably going to be, accept her, but... Yeah, August is like, I get the feeling that August is going to think she could be a spy. Though I don't believe there's any further dialogue at the end of the chapter with either of them. But yeah, that's pretty much like it until these kids escape. So that's one of them gone, and I think the other two are going to be out on the next turn. So, okay. Oh, wow, Safi is just barely not fatigued. Nice. It means I can basically... Oh, if I deploy her in the next map, I'm gonna have to stamina drink her. Okay, hang on a minute. Okay, like, one use of a decent staff is gonna get her up to A rank. And that means I can afford to leave her out of the next chapter. And then deploy her in 12x and not use up a stamina drink. Granted, I'm gonna be getting a lot more stamina drinks after chapter 14x, so it's not really much of a concern to me to be using stamina drinks this early, but yeah, she's at A rank now, and that's what matters. In fact, having Warp Staff access in the next map might be really nice. It's kind of silly, but it's sort of a decent thing if you know about the next map. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and just end the chapter now. That's pretty much everything done.
And I think the other two are gonna be out on the next turn.
So yeah, it's still really bizarre that, like, Kemp subplot just never gets resolved if you pick a certain ruse. It almost makes me wonder if it's kind of like Sake and Ilya in FE6, where, there's evidence, by the way they're arranged in the code, that Sake was a late addition to the game and Ilya was the default, and maybe that's the case here. Maybe the A route is the default and they added the B route later. Yeah, well, that kind of justifies why we're fighting troops from all across the region in this one little interquel rather than in the main part of FE4. I believe that's like the Green Knights? Yes, House Frigga's elite battalion of knights who like to spam thunder magic. Oh, yeah, mage knights, yep. Each of them a noble from House Frigga's inner circle. Strongest, if not the strongest, battalions of knights in the continent. Oh boy. It'd be a shame if we only fought them if we picked the A route. Yeah, there's a lot about the A route that makes way more sense lore-wise, but I don't know why I prefer the B route. Oh yeah, regarding that, Ishtar also only shows up on the A route. I'm just making such a bad case for advertising the B route, aren't I? Yeah, so here we go. This is one point where I feel like August pragmatism has a point, because even Olwen realized that she shouldn't be lending herself to the child hunts. Reinhardt hasn't really made that realization yet. Yeah, there are a lot of people who think the reason why Ishtar is betrothed to Julius is just because of her mother, who annoyingly is called Hilda. She shares her name with a much better character from Three Houses. It's possible it was a politically arranged marriage. I like the theory that Ishtar fell in love with him before he got possessed, and she's just hoping that there's still some of the old him in there. Oh, right, Olwen does get dialogue at the end of the chapter. With August, too. Yeah, you know, I knew they wouldn't bring that up without resolving it. Because, yeah, this chapter's basically all about Olwen, which is interesting because, there's actually a character who, here's one point against the A route, who is exclusive to the A route, who only joins if Olwen is not recruited or dead. I believe I've already gone over that in her bio, though, so I won't reiterate myself here. But, yeah, that is the end of Murder Hollace, and I'll see you all next time for the only mandatory Fog chapter in the game.